Brothers, our academy is for knowledge. So, and it's not to talk about individuals. It's not to talk about individuals. And what about this person and that person? We are here to seek knowledge, and our concentration is the academic work itself, the 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 knowledge itself, right? So the Islamic knowledge. When I say academic, I don't mean like academia and so on, but you understand what I mean. I mean exactly, not gossip and this and that. We're serious students of knowledge. We want to tackle the knowledge itself and the masail and so on. And For your own goodness, Akhi, study in this academy. Look at the knowledge that I have taught in this academy and compare it. You're the judge. Compare it to the person that you just called a sheikh. We don't even see him as a student of knowledge, not even close. طيب. Uh, even if, even look, there are people of ilm can come and can praise somebody. It does not mean that this person is going to enter Jannah. It does not mean that this person is not going to deviate. It does not mean that this person is not wrong. It does not mean that the person is knowledgeable, because he could have been praised because he is doing well with these mashayikh. Not knowledge based, that the knowledge of this person is Allahumma barak, he's a alim and a scholar and so on. That's not how it is, barakallahu fik. There are people that were, and that's what we say when we talk about the people of ahzab, for example, the people of sects and sectarianism, and that call, we sometimes, wallah, he was praised by so and so. Even if he was praised by so and so, are you seeing what's coming out of his mouth? The utter ignorance that is coming out of his mouth. How could an calling to bid'ah and so on and so forth? I'm talking about the people of sects and bid'ah. Even if somebody, wallah, said something good about him, does not mean that he's truly knowledgeable. Put the knowledge into the test. You, as a student of knowledge, take the knowledge that we have in this academy, study it, look for yourself, and then compare it to this person that you're calling a sheikh. Compare the knowledge that is coming from there. See for yourself. Where is the knowledge? Who is knowledgeable and who's not knowledgeable? As for what you called evidence in regards to warning against the mashayikh, I believe you do not. No, apologies, it's not a stab against you. I really don't want you to take it as as something negative on your person. But I do not believe that you know what evidence is in the first place in this field, and that is totally fine. You need to learn first, and then you will understand. That's why we have many people that get utterly shocked when they see at certain places, for example, because they don't know the rules, they do not know this subject. They just think that just by somebody appearing with someone, for example, for a second or a minute or whatever, because that person came to them and threw themselves on them, and you don't have the whole picture anyway. So now there's something wrong with that person. Sheikh Islam ibn Taymiyyah quotes Al-Ghazali, quotes Subki, because you don't know the matters themselves. You don't know the knowledge itself. So you find yourself in a problematic situation. You say, yeah, but how? But how? You say, how? You're just starting out to seek knowledge, and there's these utterly ignorant people that are indulging in something that they know nothing about in the first place, and they're teaching you these matters of jarh and ta'dil and so on, and they know nothing about jarh and ta'dil. Nothing about jarh and ta'dil. They don't even know Arabic. They cannot take a book that has to do with jarh and ta'dil, open it and read it and understand what's inside of it. How did they even study it in the? They're not capable of studying it to begin with. These are not available in English. These books are not available in English. So, so the only thing that's going to come from their way to you is ignorance, deviance, and so on. So be careful, barakallah fik. Be careful. Therefore, study first. And I didn't say anything. I said, you be the judge. Learn and see. And from the things that I want to mention, we have some people, if we took them and put them on spot, and we gathered students of knowledge, and we said, if you have a question, ask them. And you ask in zakah, in hajj, in transactions, in inheritance, in Arabic, in usul fiqh, in mustalah al-hadith, in qawa'id al-tafsir, they won't be able to answer 10% of the questions. If you ask them about normal things in fiqh, so you put them in front of everyone, and you ask them the questions, I even doubt that they will be able to answer questions about tahara and salah correctly. I'm not saying all of them, of course. They don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying some questions on tahara, and so some questions might be difficult. They might not be able to answer it. As for the other parts, I think the overwhelming vast majority of questions, they won't be able to answer them. In terms of buyu', in terms of usul fiqh, in terms of qawa'id, in terms of Arabic, in terms of zakah, in terms of hajj and umrah, in terms of mawarith, in terms of niza'at and hudud, and so on and so forth, when it comes to judging and so on and so forth. The vast, overwhelming majority of the questions, they won't be able to answer them. And then the same people, yani if you were to ask them in the vast majority of the religion of Islam, they won't be able to answer. They don't know. They do not know. طيب. The very same people are targeting Salafi, world-renowned scientists, world-renowned scholars from the biggest scholars alive today, and they're warning against them. The same scholars who are Salafis, I'm not talking about if they're warning against, you warn against sects and so on and so forth, that's something else. We're talking about Salafis, and they're telling you not to listen to them. And like Sheikh Muhammad Hisham, and Sheikh Sulaiman Rahili, and Sheikh Salih Saimi, and Sheikh Wasiyullah Abbas, and many, many, many of the scholars. The same scholars, put them in the same position, they will answer the vast, overwhelming majority of those questions, if not all of them. Who is the scholar here? Who is the one that is speaking with knowledge here? And whom is the one that we are commanded to listen to? The person that has knowledge or the ignorant? You think it's easy? You think it's easy, ya ikhwa, to sit and be asked in all of the fields of knowledge? You really think this is easy? You sit down and you're asked in zakah, and you're asked in siyam, and you're asked in tahara, and you're asked in menstruation from part of tahara, and you're asked about salah, and you're asked about different types of salah, and you're asked about marriage, and you're asked about divorce, and you're asked about the usul al-fiqh, and you're asked about the qawa'id al-fiqhiyya, and you're asked about the qawa'id al-hadith, and you're asked about the mend in the asanid of the ahadith, and you're asked about tafsir of the ayat. These ulama, they know the tafsir of every single ayah by heart. And they know the different sayings of the people of ilm. I have experienced this secondhand sitting with Sheikh Muhammad Hisham. Sheikh Muhammad Hisham, he knows every single narrator. Every narrator in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, everybody that is mentioned, he starts telling you about that. And he says this is not his field. And he's an imitator. You ask him about tafsir, he gives you, for every single ayah, he gives you what the ulama said. I have sat down with some of the people of ilm, they say, every answer you give, every fatwa that this person gives, I will tell you who from the Salaf al-Salih said it. Anyone against them? I'm talking about Salafis. Because if somebody is not a Salafi and he said so, this is not a scale. I'm saying someone who is a Salafi, a true alim. Wallahi, one of the ulama once, he was talking about, but he was talking about someone who's from the Ikhwan. He said, this person that is showing that he's a alim, I told him, every answer you answer, I will say whom from the Salaf al-Salih gave that fatwa. Allahu Akbar. Yani every fiqhi rule you're going to say it, I will, out of memorization, tell you who from the Salaf al-Salih said this. Whose opinion is this? So don't get deceived by certain people. This is what? This is, I'm telling somebody who's not a Salafi. Because you cannot use the same argument. So yeah, they are knowledgeable, but these are Salafis. Somebody that it's the people that are coming and warning against these people of ilm, like Sheikh Wasiyullah Abbas and Sulaiman Rahili and Sheikh Salih al-Sahimi and these vast majority of the people of ilm, these are not scholars. The ones that are some scholars have spoken against some of them, not all of them, but they didn't say these are mubtadi'ah by name. They came and said this. So you are saying don't seek knowledge. Who's the one that is speaking? The knowledgeable or the ignorant? The ignorant, of course. They don't even speak Arabic. They're not on the scale. They're not on the. You cannot even mention their name. They don't even speak Arabic. They cannot study if they wanted to from the advanced books. So of course they're not people of knowledge. So when we put Salafi scholars, the vast, overwhelming majority of the people of ilm, the vast, overwhelming majority of the people of ilm, they recommend them and they appear with them and they tell you to benefit from them. Sheikh Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, Sheikh al-Fawzan, we have never heard tabdi' from them or warning against them. Sheikh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr, Sheikh Sulaiman Rahili, I'm saying that they recommend them and they sit with them. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan recommends Sheikh Salih al-Sahimi. And as I said before, we have nobody's warning against Sheikh Salih al-Sahimi. And this is not an insult to these brothers and any brother that holds this opinion. We say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guard them, protect them from deviance. But truly, in front of Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, I am also a nobody. Nobody. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan and Sheikh Salih al-Sahimi is sitting there. And the Sheikh al-Sahimi asks him and he praises him and so on and so forth. And Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan replies and praises and alhamdulillah. Ya ikhwa, these are mountains of ilm. Where nobody's compared to them. So when a nobody comes and starts warning against these, a huge question mark here about you, the one who's listening to them. If they're a hopeless case, that's fine. But you, how are you listening? I told you, put them, record it, put them, bring them. Let's ask them questions. I can bring 100 questions that I think every one of these scholars, these Salafi scholars, they will be able to answer. And let's bring these people that are warning against them. I don't think they're going to answer 10 of them. I won't be able to. How the ignorant then is the one that judges over the knowledgeable? And then I tell you, is it the way of Salaf al-Salih that we take knowledge and that we take the warning and the ahkam and the rulings even upon individuals from the ignorant and we leave the scholars? That's the way of Salaf al-Salih? And if you and I now open the books of and when it comes to the narrators of the hadith, are we going to find the imams, or are we going to find random people that are not maybe they're students of knowledge, maybe like beginner, very tiny students of knowledge, or are we going to find the imams? Like when you are going to look at are you going to look at Imam Ahmed Said and Ali ibn Madini and Yahya ibn Ma'in and Malik and Sufyan al-Thawri and Al-Awza'i and Layth ibn Sa'id and Qutayba ibn Sa'id? These are the people that are talking. Or are we going to find people that no imams, no, just lay people, but they have sat a little bit with some of the people of ilm and they heard them. They heard Imam Ahmed and others, talking in regards to some to the matter of jarh and ta'dil, and now they're lay people, but they listen to them a little bit, so now they are making jarh and ta'dil. This is what we will find? No. Then which path is this? This is the path of a Salaf al-Salih? No. Which path is this? That's why we keep saying, wallahi, it's dangerous for people to indulge in this. And the biggest example are these groups that pop up in so many countries that are unbelievably ignorant. They're lay people. Sometimes worse, because they're making rulings that lay people wouldn't dare make, and the rulings are wrong and so on. And they're popping up and in different parts of the world, and they're making these, promoting this and making this the way of a Salaf Salih. It's not the way of a Salaf Salih. And then again, the last thing I want to talk about. We're also students of knowledge. Alhamdulillah, we've been in the da'wah and we've asked the mashayikh and we've asked the ulama. And I told you, akhi, be the judge. Attend the durus and see them. Do you see knowledge in them? Do you see ignorance in them? What do you see? The durus are there. Attend. Tayyib. We listened to some of these people. What's knowledge? We haven't seen knowledge. Actually, what we have seen, and we've even asked the mashayikh and the ulama many a time, the very first thing that comes out of their mouth, ignorant. They say ignorant, ignorant. And then we come and say, where is the knowledge that you're talking about? And when we hear someone that's knowledgeable, we identify, we understand this is a very knowledgeable person that is speaking. But when we hear some of these groups and some youngsters, some unknown speakers, and some known speakers, when they start speaking, what we're hearing is does not what we are listening to is not really coming across as someone that knows, not even knowledgeable, just knows what he's talking about even. And I always give this example. You're a Muslim and somebody comes to you and starts saying, I am the, and people say, Sheikh so and so, he's the authority on wudu and the ahkam of wudu. And then he tells you, some people don't wash their belly button and knees. You say, hold on, what? And people are believing him. As someone in the field, when you listen to this, you're utterly shocked. You say, this is the guy? This is the guy that is an authority on wudu and tahara and so on. He's telling you in wudu, washing your knees. This is the guy. You don't see it because you're just starting out as a student of knowledge. But once you learn, that's what you're going to see. And you will realize our perspective when we come. What knowledge are you talking about? Who is Sheikh again? What knowledge are you talking about? Who are you calling Sheikh? Maybe because he's of old age. Maybe. But, Akhi, be careful for your religion. Be careful for your religion. Be very careful whom you are taking your knowledge from. If these people were put on the spot and a knowledgeable person comes to them and starts asking them in the same field, they will be utterly speechless. They won't be able to answer a single question. About what? About warning against individuals. And so they'll be like, huh? They cannot even answer the suspicious matters. Ya ikhwa, be very careful. Ya ikhwa, be very careful. Just because people are avoiding these individuals and avoiding these topics and avoiding the fitna and avoiding the ignorance in the first place, doesn't mean that some people, these people that have any type of knowledge on that. It's just that it's a never-ending fighting. Therefore, people are just avoiding it. The mashayikh themselves are saying avoid it and stay away from it. So be careful, barakallahu feekum. And inshallah, Azza wa Jal, this advice does not fall on deaf ears. And what I just said applies to a vast, large area of groups and individuals and cults and a large, sometimes, especially with youngsters, sometimes 13 and 15 and 17, and all they are doing are indulging in this, and they are warning against this person, and their harm has come to us and even to the mashayikh. They call us and they're recording a 15-year-old or a 17-year-old because he wants to expose the deviance of so and so. Allah al-Musta'an. Allah al-Musta'an. And they do not know how to make wudu, do not know how to do salah, and they do not know the rulings and the ahkam. Yeah, have you reached this? You haven't reached this. Stick to what you're capable of. Stick to what you need now and immediately. In terms from whom you seek knowledge, take it from Bin Baz, Bin Uthaymeen, Al-Fawzan. Khalas, have some sources. They're trustworthy. And now focus on absorbing all of this knowledge from them. Simple as that. Don't make it an excuse. Yeah, but I need to know who to listen to and who to love. Therefore, I'm asking about the hadith. You're going to listen to 1,000 people. You're going to listen to 20, 30 people. Like, what? How much did you finish from knowledge that you want to listen to so many people? 2 or 3 people in the beginning and absorb the knowledge to begin with. But you haven't absorbed anything from the beginning. Just like the person that buys so many books and he wants to read and keeps asking, what shall I read next? What shall I read next? And he has the books of Imam bin Uthaymeen, and we keep telling him, how much did you finish from them? Huh? Not a single book. So you finish the 30 books you have. Yeah, but I want to know whom to read for. Ya akhi, finish what? Yeah, the knowledge itself. Finish it. Learn. I'm not telling you not to buy books, but start learning. Wallah al-Musta'an. Wallah al-Musta'an. Wallahi, this has become such an alarming thing. Such an alarming thing. That you need to be very careful for your religion. Be very careful, ya akhi, whom you're taking this knowledge from. and whom these people are making you stay away from the real, true Salafi scholars, because these are not upon the way of the Salaf. And I've just showed you that they're not upon the way of the Salaf, and they have a lot more violations. Many of them. They don't even know the way of the Salaf, so how they can be upon? فاقد الشيء لا يعطيه. The one who does not, who does not have something cannot give it to you. And they are pushing you away from the real scholars. And they say, what manhaj is this? What manhaj is this that is warning against Sheikh AbdulRazzaq al-Badr, Sheikh al-Usaymi, الشيخ الرحيلي, الشيخ صالح السحيمي, الشيخ وصي الله عباس, الشيخ عزيز فرحان, الشيخ محمد هشام, الشيخ سالم الطويل, الشيخ whom are you leaving for us? Every sheikh, these are major known worldwide. And look at these ulama that they're warning against. Look at how many lessons they have every. Look at the ilm that is passing you. Look at Sheikh AbdulRazzaq al-Badr, how much ilm he's spreading. And Sheikh Sulaiman Ruhaili and Sheikh Salih al-Suhaimi. And he's traveling to so many countries of this dunya to give da'wah. Sheikh Salih al-Suhaimi, the Mufti of Medina. And look at Sheikh Muhammad Hisham. Thousands, if not tens of thousands of lessons that he has. The hundreds, if not thousands of books that he has finished. Some of the books you don't even find on YouTube. You are deprived because of what? And who is saying so? Naam, and Sheikh Daghash as well, and Sheikh Daghash as well. Once I was speaking to Sheikh Daghash about these people, he said, these people don't even see me. I said, whom are you leaving? Ajib. And also, when you see them, they always name some people, I don't know where they get them from. Sheikh Falatawi, I don't know. Who is he? Who are these names? Some names, wallahi, ajib, I've never heard. Who are these? These are the scholars? Subhanallah. Who are these people? لا, there's this one alim that praise him. Ya akhi, some of the ulama that are better than this one alim that you're talking about, they praise people, and these people went with the Asha'ira and went to the. This is not a ticket to heaven, not a ticket to sound manhaj and goodness until the day of judgment. This is not the case. They don't even speak your own language. They don't know what you're saying in your language even. You can be feeding them lies, coming to them saying, I didn't say so, I said so and so, and they believe you. Khalas. That's not the scale. That's never the measurement. The ilm, that's why I'm telling you, go to the ilm itself and learn it and see for yourself. Your ilm gives you tazkiyah as well, one of the biggest ones. They always start naming people too you've never heard in your life. Why? Because there are people that are in the same way. They just want to warn, and they warned against these people, so they try to tell you these are ulama and these are not uncompare. You cannot compare both. You cannot compare. You're bringing some of the most knowledgeable, prominent scholars, and some, maybe they can be called mashayikh, maybe, Allah knows best. And you're making these the authority over these. Never. And people that nobody has ever heard from, just because they were praised by alim doesn't mean now they're an authority to judge those that are light years ahead of them in knowledge. That's not the case. Wallahi, we see scary things. One video for one of these people that they follow, they call Sheikh, because one or two ulama have praised them. He's sitting, and in one warning against 70 people. Have some mercy upon yourself. And what if you're wrong? Look what you're going to have to answer to on the day of judgment. And you're the loser, by the way. You're the one who's going to be deprived from the knowledge of these people. Sheikh Salih al-Sindi and Sheikh Wasi Allah Abbas and the Sheikh Falah and Sheikh Haytham Sarhan. And they take a stab against this Sheikh. They take a stab against Sheikh Haytham Sarhan. And Sheikh Falah Mundakar gives him tazkiyah. And just to show you their ignorance, Sheikh Falah Mundakar, they praise Sheikh Falah Mundakar so highly. طيب Sheikh Falah Mundakar defends Sheikh Muhammad Hisham and praises him highly, unbelievably as well. And also Sheikh Salim, he does the same thing. He says if somebody speaks about Sheikh Salim, say I am Sheikh Salim. And he defends these ulama and Sheikh al-Ruhaili and Sheikh. And if we take the same position as Sheikh Falah, they warn against us. You see the ignorance here? You see how ignorant this is? طيب why is he okay? And he don't say a word in regards to Sheikh Falah, and he's my Sheikh. And now you're warning against me? Why? Because I endorse the same mashayikh that Sheikh Falah didn't just endorse, that he protected strongly. When somebody spoke against Sheikh Muhammad Isham and the Durus and so on, he said these are the people that will follow. This is in video. Go and look it up. He said that something to the extent that I am afraid that these are the people that will follow Masih al-Dajjal. Allahu Akbar. Yes. And have you seen the Sheikh, how he always teaches next to Sheikh Al-Sahimi and Sheikh Muhammad Isham and these mashayikh? Have you seen it or not? Don't come and tell me now and it changed and I don't know what. No. Some of the people that these people are warning against Sheikh Muhammad Isham and others because they appeared with them and they don't know the story. Why? Even in the first place. They used to be mentioned in front of Sheikh Falah and Sheikh Falah wouldn't say a word in regards to them. Wouldn't warn against them and wouldn't. And there are many people that are that have attended and seen this with their own eyes. And they can testify to this. So it's not so ignorant that I saw a picture, I have to warn against this person. I saw something that you've seen a picture, you've seen. I have sat down with the mashayikh. I've sat down with some of these ulama. And when they are asked, they say, "Tayyib, in a poster you appeared, and in this and that you appeared, and or so." They had an answer. So "Tayyib, they came to me and they appeared. All, do I throw him out?" And the picture was taken and so on. Or they had to. Sometimes they were forced to. Sometimes you don't know the story. Khalas, close your mouth. You're all the way in the States or all the way in the UK. You don't know. And you're talking about Salafis, Sunnis. طيب, let's say they didn't agree with you in regards to one person or two people. Even that. Khalas. Take him outside of Salafi. If he's Salafi and he's right in everything else. Almost. Because everybody's going to have mistakes. طيب, he didn't agree with you in regards to one or two people. What now? Is this the ta'sil that they're teaching you? Oh, he appeared with him, khas, he doesn't agree with me, so he has. But the ulama warned against those. Tayyib, he made a mistake with one person. He made a mistake. Just like a Shafi'i made mistakes with people, just like all the imams made mistakes with people. Deemed them to be trustworthy, and they were not. They deemed them this and that. You do not know. He does not know. He made a mistake. He's not making it a manhaj. He's not always appearing with these people, and all the people that are around him are like this. No, literally, maybe you made a mistake with one person. Does not agree with you with one person or two people. Khalas, we throw him outside of the people of Sunnah and Jama'ah, even though everything else is good. La, people are allowed to make mistakes. Even if you are right, they're allowed to make mistakes, and you can advise them, and you can find somebody to advise them. But this is not how it's going nowadays. Nowadays, khalas, warning and this and not just warning against him and everybody that doesn't even agree with what they said. Of course, this can be misunderstood, and you think that I'm saying that they can appear with whomever they want. No. And make a manhaj out of it. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they made a mistake in regards to one individual. They appeared in a place where it was wrong. Once or so, they're not making a manhaj out of it, and it's not their habit. Mistakes, ya akhi. Mistakes happen. La khalas, he appears, so it's not to be taken from. And now when their students and their mashayikh and everybody that tells you to take from, it becomes this whole khariji way of thinking. You're either with me or you're not with me. And this tabdi' bil ma'iyya and tabdi' with everything that's he's with him, he's not with me, then he's a mubtadi and he should be warned against that. Everything is in ma'iyya in regards to him. That's not how it is. And the ulama said this is the way of the Kharijis. That's how they do it. One of the bid'ah of the Kharijis. Kharijis don't just have one bid'ah. It's one of the bid'ah of the Kharijites. Yes, when a person appears with the people of deviance and he's making a manhaj out of it and he's always there and that's his group and so on, yes, fine. If he appears with one of them and he's correcting his mistakes and he's na'am upon the same way as he is, then fine. But a Sunni Salafi, that the vast overwhelming majority of the people of ilm are telling you he's Salafi and Sunni and they appear with him and so on, he made a mistake in regards to a certain person. Ya akhi, you don't know, maybe he's advising him and doesn't want to say it in public. And from the way, and he sees that there is usefulness and it might actually affect him. So he appeared with him. He doesn't want to shun him or so on because it's going to backfire. What do you know? Yani, the person is Salafi and Sunni and the alim. طيب, worst case scenario, he made a mistake with one, two people, but that's not his manhaj. He doesn't agree with their mistakes. He doesn't always appear with people like that. How do you equate the two? And now you're going to transgress to his students and his mashayikh and the people affiliated with him and the people that praise him and the people who do not see that he should be stayed away from. Also, these should be stayed away from. Where are you getting this? What manhaj is this? Is not manhaj of Salaf al-Salih. Not even close. This is not an answer to a question. Wallahi, this is a lecture. It turned out to a lecture. But this deviance has to be pointed out. And these bid'ah have to be named. And the I's have to be dotted and the T's have to be crossed. Bas. Because these people did not respect anybody. And they foul-mouthed the ulama themselves, the scholars. And they continue to do so. And it has spread in so much and so many countries in the world. And they have formed so many sects and groups. And there are a lot of the youth, especially the youth, are getting deceived by them. Why? Because they are ignorant and talking about something that they have no clue what it is. La. You don't know what it is, then khalas. Shut your mouth. This is not your field. Let the people that are knowledgeable about it talk. This is not courage and fear and so on. No, this is ilm. This is knowledge. Courage alone without knowledge is and talking in the deen of Allah Azza wa Jalla is one of the biggest sins. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. You're responsible for all of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told that there is nobody that is more transgressing than the one who lies on behalf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he claims something that is lie in the religion. You don't have a knowledge, then if you don't have knowledge, you should have piety that makes you remain silent and not talk about something that you have no knowledge of. Because it is the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Khalas. You leave it to the knowledgeable. They speak. No.